And there are people here, guys, that are advocates of Sharia law. I'm wondering, do you think Sharia law is compatible with Canadian law and the Canadian Constitution?
Um, yes, I do.
David Menzies for the Rebel News here in downtown Toronto. Well, folks, I'm standing outside the Metro Toronto Convention Centre, which this weekend is host to Canada's largest Islamic conference. It's known as Reviving the Islamic Spirit. And the thing is, when one looks over the roster of speakers up from the United States, a very disturbing pattern emerges when it comes to their views on homosexuals, women, and Jews. For example, according to B'nai B'rith, one speaker is Yasser Qadi, who is a defender of the Islamic Hadith, which proclaims that at the end of days, the Jews will be slaughtered by the Muslims. And then there is Siraj Wahhaj. Mr. Wahhaj was named as an unindicted co-conspirator in the 1993 bombing of the World Trade Center and was a character witness in the trial of Omar Abdel Rahman, who conspired to commit further terrorist attacks in the U.S. He describes him as a respected scholar and a strong preacher of Islam. But wait, folks, there's more. Such as Omar Suleiman, who has expressed some eyebrow-raising viewpoints when it comes to homosexuality and women. For example, Mr. Suleiman has been condemned by moderate Muslim activists for describing homosexuality as a disease and as a, quote, repugnant, shameless sin, end quote. Remember back in October when feminist Megan Murphy gave a speech at a Toronto library? Well, she was condemned solely for having a contrary viewpoint to the PC-approved counting of transgenderism. The members of that community swarmed the library, tried to have that speech shut down, but when it comes to someone actually advocating harm and death for members of the LGBT community, well, if they're here, they must be invisible and silent. Now, we couldn't get access into this convention and film what is being said, but perhaps we can speak to some attendees who are entering and exiting the convention center and try to find out if these so-called distinguished speakers represent the kind of people you would think are good for reviving the Islamic spirit. You're here for the Reviving the Islamic Spirit?
Yeah.
Okay, then. And what are you hoping to get out of this conference, ma'am?
I think just how to become like a better person. Okay. After like a long year, it's always good to reflect on like yourself and like the things that you've been through. So this is a really good place to do that. It allows you to sort of take yourself out of context and analyze like what are the good things that you're doing and like how you can help other people. So that's essentially like what I come to this conference for.
Every now and then we just need to get our spirits up and revitalize that Islamic nature we have. So
it's being reported that some of the speakers at the conference have very, I guess, repugnant views on women, Jews, homosexuals. Is that a concern to you, listening to some of those people?
I mean, I usually just listen to the speakers that I like,
okay.
So I go for them. Yeah.
Even if they have different views or not, I don't want to go into details because I'm not sure about that. It may be or may not be.
I'm sorry, I don't really know anything about that, and I can't really speak on it. I do have to go. Thank you so much.
So as you know, a lot of people have different views of Islam, but in my opinion, it's good to get a broad the whole spectrum of people. So let's get opinions from both sides.
I'm just wondering, how does that aid and abet reviving the Islamic speaker that the organizers would invite these kind of people to this conference, ma'am?
Well, I'm not sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
It may be view of the extremist, but those speakers, I don't think they are invited here to deliver in front of the large crowds.
And there are people here, guys, that are advocates of Sharia law. I'm wondering, do you think Sharia law is compatible with Canadian law and the Canadian Constitution?
Yes, I do.
Oh, it is, okay.
Yes, I do think it is.
Do you think that Sharia law is compatible with Canadian law and the Canadian Constitution?
So that's not I don't want to make comment on that, because I don't want because I'm not that much educated in the Sharia law as well, because we are still learning, we are not a complete we are still a learning Muslim, so I'm not sure about the Canadian law as an individual also, so I don't want to make comment on that. Yeah.
And what about you guys? Would you like to see Canada run under Sharia law?
I don't know too much about Canadian laws. I'm from America myself.
Oh, okay. How about that in terms of Sharia law in the United States and as being compatible with the U.S. Constitution?
So there's a concept in Sharia law where you follow the land that you're on.
Hey folks, do you like the kind of news the Rebel News brings you on a daily basis? I mean, for goodness sakes, the CBC, our state-funded national broadcaster, they're located right across the street from the conference hall hosting Reviving the Islamic Spirit, but you won't see any CBC reporting anything negative at this conference. No, sir. That simply doesn't fit their narrative. But if you want the other side of the story, please consider becoming a premium content subscriber. Go to premium.rebelnews.com, sign up, and never miss another Rebel video.